What's up, all my folks out in YouTube land? Daryl, also known as the Finisher. Hey, we got to talk about these home repair, slash home improvement prices. Or is it just crazy? Is it just me? I mean, it seems like these prices are getting out of control. So, I don't know. Is it just high prices? Is it inflation? Is it price gouging? What is it? Are the prices just ridiculous or absurd? Yes and no. So, let's get into it. First things first, if you're going to have a real discussion about any of these things, you have to start with the material costs. It's just what it is. Now, I know some of it's inflation, some of it's, you had COVID, but man, we're moving a few years past COVID, and the prices shot up in a way, and some of them went down, and some of them didn't, right? So, something like drywall materials, right? You think about it like this. A bucket, one of the large buckets of drywall mud, whether it was all purpose or plus three or something like that, those used to be about 16, 17 bucks. It's like they just jumped up at the blue, and now they're up to $23, $24 each. And it's like that across the board. So when you get a job done, you have to think about all the things that you need. And, you can't really, it's just the gravity of that, the scope of that for somebody who's getting the job done. How do you know? So just think about that across the board. Like, not just drywall, all materials. You think paint, regular paint. I go to the store and I buy paint and it's almost up to $50 a gallon. And guess what? It's not even a gallon anymore. It's crazy. You look at it, it's not a gallon anymore. It's less paint for more money. And it's just like that for everything. So this is for people who are getting work done, but it's for also for people like me, people who do this job, who have to price. You have to be aware of all these things, how much things cost. It's just what it is. Then on top of that, are you going to warranty the work, right? This is something that I think people really don't think about. So say something as simple as a garbage disposal. Yes, you can go buy your own garbage disposal and I'll come over and install it for you, right? That way you're just paying me the labor. You're not getting an extra charge. I'm not upcharging materials and charging you extra money for that garbage disposal. But understand that if it's your garbage disposal, you're just paying me to put it in. If something goes wrong with the garbage disposal, it is what it is. Like that has nothing to do with me, right? So you can't call me in 2 weeks like, oh, the garbage disposal doesn't work. You're going to have to take that up with the garbage disposal manufacturer. You know what I mean? All I did was install it. It was installed properly. And that's it, right? So you have to understand that if I warranty something, I have to be able to charge enough to make it worth that time. Make it worth that time for me to if I have to go back and fix something because things don't work right all the time. And I've had that. And as rare as it might sound, it happens more often than you think. I'm not going to sit here and act like it happens all the time. But I've had dishwashers that I have installed and they have leaked off the back. Off the back! Shout out 4 Extras. Off the back, man, like it just leaks automatically. What, do I leave and not get paid? You still got to pay me. I'm just here to install it. I'm not here to warranty it. Like, you got to take that up with the manufacturer or the store or whoever you bought the warranty from, right? But if I supply it, just like anywhere else, if you go to a store and you get a warranty, you got to pay extra for the warranty. It's just what it is. Something as simple as I just installed 2 floor outlets, right? Just 2 floor outlets. The kit for the floor installation of the outlets was $50 each. For one outlet, $50. I had to do 2 separate outlets. So it was $100 just for the outlets to go on the floor. Material prices are up, man. And there's not much we can do about it. So that's one reason. The second thing is skilled labor is expensive. I mean, it's expensive to hire people like the small businesses to do the work, right? But it's expensive for those small businesses to find employees. Think about You can't just find somebody off the street who's skilled enough to do all of these jobs. You know, they just lie sometimes. You know, it's just the nature of the human being. They want a job. People just lying, lie to you, tell you, oh man, I got the skills, I can do this and that, and then they mess around, then wired something backwards, fried everything, and now you're stuck. It's just, you know, the reality of it. Good labor costs money. Like, it'd be nice if it was just a bunch of people out there and everybody just knew how to do all the work, and you could just, man, I'd go in with my application would just be like, do you have 2 arms, 2 legs, or the equivalent? Okay, you're hired. But we can't do that. We cannot do that. So you got to find skilled people. Skilled labor is expensive, especially now. Minimum wage is at $15 an hour a lot of places. I mean, that's just working the fast food job. That's just working, like I said, somebody just working at a counter or pressing a button somewhere. That's not somebody knowing, especially doing my line of work. The more skilled you come, the more expensive you are. If you're good, because there's nothing better. I'll say it like this. I could have a helper all day, and I could be pretty good. But man, if me and another guy, and we both know what we're doing, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. I mean, we come through like a tornado, and just kill it. And you can't look at it like your job, right? I had a nurse tell me one time, I was working in Lowe's, and I was selling, I think it was the door installations or something like that. I think it was a door installation, and the sliding glass door, I think was $550 for the install. And she was like, about how long does that take to install? I was like, I don't know. It depends on the person. I don't know, 4 hours, 5 hours. She said, no, that's crazy. No, there's no way a carpenter, whoever's installing a door, is making $100 an hour. And I'm a RN, I'm a registered nurse, and I'm making $35. I ain't paying nobody that much. That's crazy. And I was like, well, there's apples and oranges, lady. You got to think like this. You know, you're an RN at a hospital, right? Well, right now, you know, they have a thing with these traveling nurses, right? So during COVID, these traveling nurses were getting broke off. I mean, they were getting paid like thousands. I mean, you know, you talking about some people making $5,000, $10,000 a week as a traveling nurse, right? But the nurses that were at the hospital, they're making that $35 an hour. So what's the difference? One is an independent contractor. The other one's an employee. It's just a totally different thing. So that's why it costs so much. You know, a lot of the times you're working with small businesses, independent contractors. There's a lot of other things, a lot of liability, a lot of, you know, knowledge and skill and everything else involved with getting your job done. So skilled labor is just expensive. I mean, it just is. Now you got to think about it like this too, right? Third thing is that home repair is a specialty service. I don't care if you get to the most basic home repair thing, basic thing you're repairing. It's a specialty service. Any service, you have to look at it this way. Any service where I basically got to take all my tools, like, right? I gotta have the knowledge of how to fix your job, right? You call me, I got to be able to gather up all my tools, everything I need that maybe fix your job. I don't even know what I'm going to need really until I get there. But I'm going to have to just bring all these things to your house. Take all my tools to your house to do your project, right? I mean, that's really what we're doing, like, or to fix your problem or whatever it is. I mean, if you had a barber that came to your house to personally cut your hair instead of having to go to the barbershop, that's a specialty service. Right? It just is what it is. So not only do you have to get all these materials and all these other things, but then I got to take it to your house. And then I got to come in your house and work without doing damage to your property. I can't scratch the floor. I can't make a mess. I got to bring my own. I don't use other people's tools. You know what I'm saying? I leave that to Earl and them, you know, or like y'all like to call it the chuck in the truck, you know. It's amazing how many people's houses I go to where I'm like, where I show up and they're like, yeah, well, I have a ladder if you need one. I'm like, a ladder? Yeah, I don't need a ladder. Yeah, and I got a hammer and a drill out in the garage if you know. I'm like, who are y'all hiring that has no tools? What kind of businesses y'all calling? All right, but anyway, you know, sometimes I wonder, I don't think people really think about how many tools it takes to do their job. So let me give you an example, and I don't even have everything here, right? But let me show you something. All right, look at this table, man. Look at it. This is just, if I need to do a drywall repair and then do the paint, this is not even everything, and I'm not saying that every job you're going to have to use all these tools, You're not going to have to use everything. I got a little, look at that, some drywall screws in there. But, I mean, all these tools are required. These are just some rags. But all this stuff, a mask. And this is not everything, This is like if you got a little tiny repair, I might not need everything here. But the thing is, as a professional, I have to have all these things. And that's just the beginning. I mean, we're not even talking about the actual mud, the actual paint, ladders and drop cloths and, scaffolding, depending on the situation, extension ladders, like all sorts of different things that go into just doing drywall repair and touch-up paint jobs. I mean, especially from the business side, I mean, because you have to be prepared for anything. So you can't just have the bare minimum and be in business. You could be the homie, you could be dude up street, but you can't be a business. And then somebody calls you and you say, hey, I could do the repair in this situation, but no, that's 10 feet high. I don't have any way to reach it. Can I borrow your ladder? You can't do that. So you have to think of it. It's just a specialty service. Somebody's bringing all their knowledge, tools, experience, everything over to your house to do your project. It's just not cheap. Now, does that mean people don't price gouge? Absolutely not. I mean, unfortunately, we have people out here that price gouge. I just ran into a customer the other day. I was installing a dishwasher, right? Now, he had a leak, and when the guys came to deliver it, I guess they were going to install it, but they said they couldn't because it was hardwired. So that's how I ended up getting the job. But he didn't know that, you could just hardwire the dishwasher. He thought it was a problem with it being hardwired, so he had an electrician come in and put an outlet in. Now, the wire's there. The wire's there. It's just a matter of putting the box in the wall and taking it. We all understand that. It's just a matter of the putting the box in the wall and run the wires in there and put an outlet. Man, this guy told me that the electrician charged him over $900 to install this outlet. An outlet. $900, almost $1,000 to install it. I don't care what anybody says. You could put whatever you want in the comments. It doesn't matter. The wiring was already there. You just got to install a box. $900, almost $1,000 is insanity. But some people going to do what they do, right? So, you're always going to have that. You're also going to have people some companies that are just higher than others. When I started doing the business, I didn't know any better. So I was at $50 an hour. Man, I could do this and that. And let me tell you something. You try to charge $50 an hour, you're going to be out of business very quickly, right? You learn quickly that you can't do that as a business. And that there's a lot of other things involved with charging and how much money you have to make just to stay in business, to be able to offer this awesome service that just delivers, that just has home repair, that just delivers all these tools and all this knowledge and everything right to your doorstep. It can be pricey, man. So the last one, we got to have a real discussion, man, because I don't know where you're from. See, I'm based in the U.S., man, United States of America, where everything's for sale. This is a big social science experiment, man. The economy is a huge science experiment in America. Everything's for sale. Everything, man. Like from your health to your education to life coming in the world to death to there's nothing that's not for sale here. Everything. Your brain, your mind is for sale, man. Social media is just, they're fighting for your brain, your attention span. They want to take it over. It's wild. But that's the way it is here. And if you're a believer in the free markets, then is there such thing as price gouging? I mean, not if you believe in the free market, right? It's just the market will allow it, then it is what it is. Like, then you could charge that, right? Simple supply and demand. I'm not a big believer in 100% capitalism, but that's just me, right? I can't say nothing about all the other businesses out there or whatever, but I'm looking for a fair deal. I know I won't get rich off of this business. I'll be very comfortable, right? And I should be very comfortable for getting out here, learning all this, doing all this work or whatever. But other people got different frame of mind. And can I say that they're wrong? If they live here, if they live in America, I mean, like I said, it's just, you have to decide. You got to decide what you want to do. To all you out there that are going to be going into business for yourself and are looking at some of these videos to get an understanding of how this whole thing really works, you got to decide. Are you going to, install an outlet for $900 or not? I just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Look, I've talked to people. I got customers that are actual friends of mine, right? That I go to their house to do a job. Like I was, one of my friends, I was installing a door for him, and he was telling me that a company came in and did an estimate for his basement. Now he has a nice house. He has a really nice house, but the basement is not a full basement. It's probably a half basement. It's decent size. I mean, they were gonna charge him it was like 150. It was between 150 and $200,000 to finish his basement, and I couldn't come up with a reason to charge that much. Like on paper, I'm looking, I'm trying to go through the numbers, I'm crunching this. I'm like, I don't even know how you arrive at that number. You just start using multipliers at that point. In engineering, they got something called a factor of safety, where if they were to make that ladder that says it's 300-pound weight, and it held, and you were 301 pounds, and that thing fell apart, then they would have all kind of issues, lawsuits. They can't do that. So a lot of times in engineering, they have what's called a factor of safety, and it's literally just a multiplier. So you take the number that you need it to be, and maybe you got a factor of safety of 2, so you just multiply that by 2. So in reality, they built it to be able to hold 600 pounds, right? That's just how it goes. So when it comes to contracting, sometimes, I mean, people just use the rule, factor of safety. Hey, I just need a 200% profit. No reason, I just do. And, it's just that's what we have in this society. And sometimes you have to charge to be able to play that game in this society. It's just how it goes. You got to decide, though. Are you going to be out here snapping necks? Is it going to be Mortal Kombat out here with your prices, man? Are you just going to be hitting people in the head, man, just cracking necks every time you put a price out there? It's up to you at the end of the day. It's up to the business at the end of the day. To the customers, you got choices. You can learn how to do it. You can learn how to do some of the jobs, which is, what I say, which is one thing, like, I'll talk about in a later video, but you can learn how to do some of the things yourself. But then there are plenty of people out here who are sensible, but not cheap. The problem is some of y'all want to go in those total other direction. You want things done for so cheap that it's just not possible for businesses to survive. And then we going too far in that direction. I mean, when I first started, I had a guy who I gave a price, man. It was for this laundry list. Recaulk he had the master bathroom, the shower and the tub, garden tub or whatever. Recaulk those, fix any cracks or whatever. It was installed this ice maker. There was like 2 outlets that didn't work that he wanted me to fix. It was all this stuff, and I was like, I didn't know what to charge. I was like, okay, it'll be like $200. Crazy. I was gonna charge him $200 for all this stuff. And this dude was like, man, that's ridiculous, man. I'll do it myself. Like that on the phone with like this attitude. I was like, are you kidding me? And I've had people like that, not with an attitude, but people just, you give them a price for something, and they want you to sheetrock a 3rd floor attic, and I'm like, dude, we got to go to the 3rd floor with all this. You don't have a way to get it up there. We got to take this all up 3 flights of stairs, and I give you a number. You tell me, yeah, you know what? Me and my wife were talking, man. We just feel like that, it was too high. What, you feel it? What are you feeling? How's that? How did it feel? Did something vibrate inside of you or something? You know what I mean? Did you just get the chills when I said the number or something? Like, what happened? What do you mean you felt it? You felt like it's too low. I calculated this stuff out, and y'all told me that your feelings told me that it was too high. Okay. So, this is what we are, man. It's just what you're in. It's this, you're in the land where everything's for sale. So, you got to look for some people with some integrity and maybe try to avoid the money-hungry ones, But, are they wrong? I don't know. Living in America, I don't know how I can say they're wrong, man. I hope this helps you either decide how to price your projects or maybe even adjust, give you an idea of what you want to pay for something like that. You do have to, if something's too high though, do your research and just start to find out what the stuff is like in your area. But don't call 15 people that you have no business and no plans on hiring and try to have everybody come out because you're just making the prices go up. So, all right, but with that being said, Daryl, also known as the finisher, stay safe, be blessed, and remember, if the trades don't work, nothing else does.